Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce and welcome the man with the most innovative investment ideas for today, Allah Love, for Supreme Lost Found Investors.
Peace, Supreme Lost Found investors, and welcome to yet again another episode. And I promise you, this is a very interesting one. It's a conversation between me and my uncle Allah Build. It's very detailed. I asked him a few questions to get his perspective on the stock market. Take a listen. Peace. Enjoy, family. All right, so peace. Welcome to Supreme Lost Found Investors. I have a very special guest tonight. His name is Allah Build. I'll let him introduce himself. And Allah Build, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Lala.
All right. That's the great Allah Build right there. So Allah Build, just let the people know, who you are, you know what I'm saying, and your views on the stock market, how you see it.
Okay, well, for sure. Well, I'm Allah Bill, and I'm Allah Love's uncle. And we have been looking at other sources of investment than the conventional ways of putting your money in the bank, and saving it, which doesn't give you any rewards, any returns, or any profit unless you have such a great amount for your investment that you're putting in, $20,000 or so. So in doing so, I just looked into the stocks and started having some questions about it because it was just an area that I never had anybody in my family really talk about. Not my parents, my grandparents, aunts, uncles. Nobody really ever said, well, the stock market, it's a way to invest your money, and you can, end up owning parts of great companies, and those stocks develop, and grow into a profit-sharing market. So when I realized that it was something that no one in my family knew about and wasn't really involved in, I started looking into it myself. And then when I thought that it was a sound investment, I contacted my nephew, Allah Love, and I told him what I thought, and he concurred. And from that time, we've been taking our time to look at sound investment companies that are growing, or that we have knowledge that the company's direction is positive, and we can expect that if we invest in this company or that company, that it's going to turn a profit for our investment. And we've been doing pretty well with that, and it's just something that we felt that we should let the rest of the public know, and the rest of a lot of people who didn't grow up in their house with anyone talking about stocks or what they are or how you purchase them or why. And it's time that we start looking into this other gray area of investment, that when you talk to somebody, generally, a minority about stocks, they'll say, well, I don't really mess with those, or I don't know anything about that, and or you got to have a lot of money to get involved with stocks, And this is the attitude that seems like everyone has that I've spoken to about stocks, instead of an answer of, oh, yeah, well, I've looked at certain stock companies and I've looked at certain stock prices, et cetera, and I've found that this area may be good, or that area, this business may be good, or that business. Never anything like that. Always just a shutdown, turn off of, I have no interest in that. It's not for me. So I think it's important for them to understand why it's for them, and that everyone, no matter what type of job you have or how much money you earn, has the ability to purchase stocks, because stocks are not something that are valued, every company's shares, so high that no one can afford them, which is what I thought, and probably a lot of people out there think, is that you really have to have thousands and thousands thousands of dollars to be able to invest, but it's not true. Some of the greatest companies right now that are known for being successful companies right now, stocks, but that company started out when they were on the market for sale to the public, and the shares cost, several dollars, $1 or $2 or $3 when they started. And these same stocks, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, are worth thousands of dollars. Okay, you have stocks worth $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $2,000 that when they were purchased were just a fraction of that. Okay, $10, $15 maybe. So this is a serious profit that you're receiving by the increase of the company's business. The business is doing well, and so the money you invested in the business brings that profit to you as an investor who owns part of that company. And that is the reason that we decided to just bring this whole subject out to the public and just let everyone hear our opinions and what we think this is a good way for us to go, especially in the year 2019 and moving forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well put, well spoken. So, God, what would you say to those people who would say, yeah, well, I don't think that the stock market is risk free. If I do put my money in the bank, at least I know that same amount, is gonna be there. Be it that I keep qualifying and I keep the right amount in there, and I make the right amount of transactions per month. You know what I'm saying? That same amount of money that I'm putting in the bank is always going to be there. It will not fluctuate. It will not, when I go there, it won't be any less. So what would you say to those people who bring that part up to you? You know what I'm saying? Say, you see, but the stock market's too volatile. I go up and down. I'll put in $100. That $100 could evaporate, just like that. You know what I'm saying? What would you say to those people? There's a lot of people, 85% of those people out there who would probably say that to you. What would you say to those people, Allah Bill?
Well, my response to those people who think that way would be that every morning that we get up and walk out of our door, we take a risk. We take a chance that something could happen that could be our last day. Now, it's not a promising thought. Not too many people generally wake up with that on top of their list of things to be concerned about for the day. However, it's important that we pay attention to certain things, like you don't wake up and be grateful every morning that you have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. You just take for granted that you wake up with 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. So when you're going to look at investing your money, you have to go into any investment that you're looking at as an educated, intelligent investment in a company that has already shown that it is a successful company as far as selling whatever product it is that they sell to the public. Now, we have a lot of companies that we every day use products for. If you look in your bathroom, you look in your kitchen, you look in your refrigerator, just about anywhere in your house, you can find products that you've been buying since you were old enough to make purchases with your own money, or someone sent you to the store to buy them. As a child, you've still been using those products. Yet 30, 40 years later, when you're a grown adult with children that are adults and grandchildren, you're still buying these products from these companies, and yet you still own nothing of these companies' success, even though you have played a role in that company's success for all the years and decades that you've purchased that product. So if you can get past the understanding that everything that you do in life comes with a risk, okay, then you're able to make educated decisions on things that are less of a risk, okay? You have to make a determination on a company based on what you understand that company to provide to the public. Is that something that the public demands? Is that something that the public wants? Is that something that is going to be something that you're not going to have to worry about the public turning against it because you yourself use this product continuously? You know that this is a product that people are going to continue to use. So that that would be my advice on as far as why you have to take a risk in buying stocks. Now, as far as the bank is concerned, if you have $12.95 and you put $12.95 in the bank, you could think that you had $12.95 in the bank. But if you come back 30 days later to that account, you'll see that they charged you $12.95 just to keep your $12.95 in the bank. So in all actuality, when you're going to withdraw that $12.95 for whatever reason you might want to use it for, you'll find that it has been confiscated by the bank for a fee that they charge you to keep your money. So with that understanding, without a deposit that generally is in a range of $20,000 or more, and not a lot of people open a bank account with $20,000 when they walk into the bank. Not everyone has that sum of money on hand that they can just leave in a bank to sit on a shelf or sit in a computer with computer data that the bank maintains, and be able to pay their bills, take care of their family, and live their life in the manner in which they live. Generally, it's a much smaller sum. So anything smaller than that, you got to understand that every month you're losing money that you have in the bank, number one, from the fees. Second, if you just want to keep money in the bank to save so that you can have the same amount of money that you had the prior time before you put any more money in, you can buy a safe. And a safe in your home is a place where you can put your money, and there's no fee that you'll be charged for your money to be in your safe. And when you need your money, you can go in your safe and take it out without any fees attached to it. Now, of course, you have to be a responsible person. It seems that a lot of people feel that it's important for them to put their money in the bank because they can't trust themselves not to spend it. They feel, well, if I have this money in my possession, I'll spend it. Well, there's a risk, okay? If you haven't maintained the discipline and the responsibility to formulate an idea that's going to benefit you and your family as an investment, that you can hold on to money that you worked hard and earned so that you can save and utilize when time comes that you need it for that rainy day that's around the corner. If you don't have that kind of self-reliance, then no, you're not going to be a successful investor in stocks or anything else that you're going to try to do in life, because you have to have discipline on any decision in life that you're going to make, and you learn that from an early childhood age. Okay, so yes, there is a risk. I would never tell anyone that there's not a risk, because as I stated, there's a risk that could occur every time you walk out of your door every day. But you have to be intelligent when you walk out your door, leave your home, the same way that you are with your money when you invest it.
Wow, that's powerful. I mean, I couldn't have put it better myself in as little words as you use. You know what I'm saying? So I guess the only other question I could really have for you, that maybe the 85% it might loom over their head, would be, okay, so we invest in stocks, right? Then what? Which route do we take? You know, do we look for profit, sell, or do we get a stock? You know, do we hold on for it for life? Like, at what point do we make profit, and do we get to enjoy this profit? Like at what point does it come? You know what I mean? Like, are we just gonna keep giving these companies our money, you know, and just watching our money in the portfolio, you know, make moves? Like, when do we actually get to get this money and actually enjoy it?
Well, that's a very good question, and most people have views that they want their money to double and triple in a short span of time. They want overnight success. They want $1 million in a week or a month. Well, the truth of the matter is that when you invest in a company that you've done due diligence and research on, and you've realized that this company produces and provides a product that is definitely in demand, and people are going to have to continue or want or choose to continue to use it. Once you get to that point and you decide that you're going to purchase shares of that company, when you purchase those shares, you purchase those shares because of your confidence in that company's growth. You have an expectation based on your research that this company is going to continue to expand, continue to bring on new customers, and continue to bring on new ideas and new products to sell to the public, and that this is going to benefit the profits as far as what you paid for a share will begin to go up. So if you purchased a share, for example, of a product that is in demand, that is something that is really, really something that people constantly have to have, then you'll see increments of growth in that share. When you buy it this month, you'll see that, you know, in a week or two or three or a month or two, that share will grow up from what you paid for it to a profit added to it. That won't happen if you put $100 in the bank. If you put $100 in the bank, when you come back a month later, you're going to have $80-something because they're going to take $12.95. And then the next month they'll take another $12.95, and they'll take another $12.95. So you're actually going in the opposite direction by saving money in the bank under $20,000, where you're paying a fee every month, than you are by buying stocks in a company that the price that you paid when you purchased them, you purchased that share because you had confidence in that company. So your expectations should be, and what you should see, is that company begin to grow, develop, and those shares of stock that you purchase should increase. Now, the longer you hold those shares, the more they'll increase. For example, if you bought shares of Apple or Microsoft or any of the hot companies out now, Netflix, or some of the companies that are household words now, well, when those stocks became public on the market that people could purchase, they only cost dollars, $2, $3, $5. And a lot of those shares of stock right now that people purchase when those companies came on the public market for $5 or $10 are now worth thousands of dollars. Okay? And I'm talking about in a short number of years. Now, years, you say years. Well, yeah, stock purchase should be, in my opinion, a long-time investment product that you maintain and you hold. You buy stocks to let them grow and develop. You don't buy stocks to play games to see if it's up 10% today, I'll sell it today because then I can wait and get more that cost this or cost that. That's a game of trading off stocks. If you don't know much about stocks, then the one thing you shouldn't be trying to do is play a trade stock game. That's the experts. What you should be focusing on as a beginner, someone who's looking to invest their money to grow, is stocks that this company has already shown promise, has already shown advancement, and has already shown that it has grown and increased its value. And so when you hold on to those shares, you're going to have children. Your children are going to have children. You can always purchase stocks with a long-term view of this is going to be a great investment for my children. When it is 10, 20 years old, the same stock that I may have paid $5 or $10 for, based on the market and the demand for this particular product, these shares of stock could be worth $50, $100, $200, $300, $400. And this is just a conservative view. There are actually stocks on the market right now that have started out at $5, $10, and $20, and now they're worth thousands of dollars. So these are the things that you have to do more research on. You can look at and view channels such as Supreme Loss Found Investors, where you have great young talents on finance like Allah Love that brings this type of information to you every week, gives you nice, juicy tidbits of information on how you can grow your investment knowledge and make you a more intelligent investor.
True indeed, true indeed. So, I mean, what made you finally, wake up and decide to invest in the stock market?
Well, I came to the conclusion it was a good investment when I realized that if there was a business or there was a product that was so in demand at this particular time, right right now, which there are several, as you know, that we are interested in. There are several that we have purchased. And based on the demand and the supply for that demand, it has definitely shown that it is a profitable business to be in. What made me go ahead and invest in the company was that I knew I was mature, responsible enough to have the patience to, once I purchased shares of stock from a good company, from a promising company that was going to bring back a profit to my money, I didn't expect to do anything with the shares I owned of that company, but allow them to grow. So you purchase the shares of this valuable company, and then you hold them. You monitor them, and you purchase more as you get money that you have available, that you can, instead of putting in a shelf in a bank to sit there, you can now buy more shares, and then those shares can add to the shares you already have that are already increasing. And what you'll start to notice over time is you'll start noticing that you're developing amounts of shares as opposed to having one. You have 20, 50, 100, 200 shares. And as time continues to go by and these companies that you've carefully selected and carefully researched and carefully used the products in which this company is selling constantly, then you yourself begin to benefit from the improvement that those shares have as far as monetary value. Those shares become more valuable to you, and the longer you hold those shares, the longer your investment will continue to grow, and the longer you have what you can look forward to as some nest egg, something that you can hand over to your children and say, well, listen, I bought these shares when you were just a baby. I paid $5 for this company's shares. Now these shares are worth $3,000, $4,000, or whatever amount of money they may be worth and should be worth at that particular time. And just think, the effort for those shares to grow, the responsibility for those shares to continue to bring profit to you is the responsibility of the company that you bought shares of. It's the major stockholders, it's the CEOs, it's the managers, and then the thousands of employees that represent the backbone of this company that are now working for you. Instead of you working for your money is now literally working for you.
That's powerful. That's very powerful, because I think that the more of our people realize this, not working so hard for your money, but making your money work hard for you. Once they realize that they need to reverse that aspect, then we'll definitely be headed in the right direction. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Well, absolutely. I would definitely agree with that, and I'm going to tell everyone that happens to be blessed to tune into this channel and be able to get this supreme information. It is an opportunity that minorities have missed out on for as long as I've been living. And, I'm a senior citizen without going any further into detail. So that will give you an idea of how long I have been looking at investments, how long I have been dealing with banks, how long I have had opportunities to think about different ways that I could have invested my money. And it's really just taking a lot of common sense, due diligence, time, and observance to realize that these opportunities, when they come, you have to take advantage of them. If we knew when Coca-Cola and other great companies, Johnson & Johnson products, started, and they were 25 cents for a share, if we knew that when we became grown adults, or even earlier than that we could double, triple, quadruple, and maybe have stocks and shares worth enough money that our children, instead of going to work for someone else, would be able to learn about going to school to manage the money that their own family has accrued and developed through their very intelligent investments over the decades and over time that has passed. So it's an opportunity that when you hear something, you may not continuously hear it. It's something that when you hear it and it makes sense to you, you can research it, you can look into it, and then once you can justify to yourself that this is something that you could or should be interested in because possibilities of benefiting you or your family are there, then you have to take action. you have to start buying stocks. And tuning into your channel, tuning into Supreme Loss Found Investors is going to definitely give you a blueprint of what it is that you can do to go about beginning to set up a portfolio and start feeling like when you get up in the morning that you don't just have money in a bank, that you can go online and check your account and see that you still have the same amount you had last week. But you have now something that you can purchase and get up in the morning and check and see how much money you made last night while you were resting in your bed. Before you get up and have breakfast or have coffee in the morning, you can see that you've already made money. That to me is a much more exciting way to invest my money than putting my money in the bank. So that's something that I think that all people can afford to do today. They just don't have the information and the insight. And now you're thankfully providing that for them. And I just hope that they really can take advantage of this information that you're providing.
That's peace. I sure hope so too. I hope everyone that's tuning in now or tuning in the very future definitely takes heed, to this message and the messages that come before and after it. Another thing, Allah build, I would say, I would ask, do you think it's too late, like for those older investors, those other senior citizens who may have never heard of stocks or just, never had any real interest in learning about it? Like, is it ever too late to say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and invest in stocks. I'm going to watch Supreme Loss Found Investors. I like everything he's saying. I'm going to do it. Like, is there a cutoff limit to this thing here?
Well, that's a very good question. And you do have a lot of older, more mature individuals that have reached their 40s, 50s, or 60s and feel that, well, if that was something that was great and it would have benefited me, it was probably something that it's probably a boat that I missed. That ship has sailed already. Well, that's a very obscure way of looking at it, because the reality is when people are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, they don't have a problem putting their money in the bank. When you get paid on your job, when you're working at 30, 40, or 50, or 60 years old, they don't have a problem going into the bank, putting their hard-earned money into a machine, or giving it to a teller and saying, yeah, put this in my account. So if you can take that money that you're going to pay a bank $12.95 or more to hold your money every time you get paid, no matter what your age is, then you should also have the intellect to understand that you could take that same money that's going to sit on a shelf and do nothing until it evaporates and grow. That same money, you could be able to hand stocks over if you just wanted to invest stocks for yourself or your family or your grandchildren. Remember, we have to always keep in mind that as the breadwinners and as the matriarchs and patriarchs of our family, and I'm talking about the senior citizens and families, we have to be the trendsetters of acknowledging and letting our family members much younger and less experienced than us know that there are better ways that we can invest our money today, that there are things that we can do that will benefit our offspring. Maybe if you're 50 years old and you're buying a stock right now, maybe that stock doesn't make you a millionaire before you reach your more senior years, but you have to keep in mind that you are still growing value with those shares in that company, that you can always cash in to get money back if anytime you want your money. It's not like it's gone. It's still there. Or you can then take those same shares and say, well, listen, this is for my son. This is for my grandson, my daughter, my granddaughter, my nieces, my nephews. This is for those that are going to come behind me, that they will also hold on to these shares and let them continue to grow and continue to expand and continue to bring profit to the family until they reach such a point that the family is definitely representing the benefits of those shares by receiving that money.
That's right, because not only, can you hand the fortune off, to the up-and-coming generation for their posterity and all that, but you're also handing them over, the keys to the door, In other words, you're handing them the family fortune, you're handing them the family business, and which can continue to grow, which can continue to pay them in dividends. If you haven't checked out the video prior to this one, I suggest you do. I touch on dividends a little bit. So not only are you handing them over, ownership to the company, but you're also handing them over money, passive income that can just continuously come in, and they can do what they want with that at that point. They can pay their expenses to live. Absolutely, they can pay their expenses, or they can throw it right back in the market. It's called compound interest. That right there, family, can definitely make a difference in your family and the families that are observing your family, because we're teaching as we're doing this. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Absolutely. And I think that when we educate our young people about investing in stocks and owning some of these companies that they're going to be utilizing and purchasing these products while they're alive, and their family and friends are still going to be purchasing these products while they're alive. By doing this, it also gives them the education to pass on that investment knowledge to their offspring, so that the stocks that I buy, that I'm going to hand off to my son and my daughter, then my son and daughter are going to have the knowledge and the investment ability from youth, from growing up as a child. They're going to know that, hey, I don't have to waste my money by having it sit somewhere on a shelf. I can buy stock in this particular company that by the time, I grow up, I will be wealthy enough that I won't have to work for anyone. I could then have people work for me, and that my brothers and sisters won't have to work for anyone. We'll be able to work for ourselves. So we have to start taking more responsibility for what it is that we're leaving for our children and our grandchildren and our offspring in general. Because for too many decades and too many centuries, as a matter of fact, it has always been a wealthy, well-to-do group of people who seemingly have always been the ones that always wanted to make sure that whatever they acquired and whatever they accomplished monetarily in life, that they had left something back for Junior. This is for John Jr., was the phrase. And that always meant that you don't do the things in life that you're doing investment-wise just for you. You have a responsibility to do the things that you do in life as far as investment is concerned for your family and the family of your family that is going to come long after you and I are no longer here. It's about the future. And this is one of the best ways to secure a strong financial future for your children that can continue, because these companies that everyone sees that have been here since they were children and now you're grown adults, well, I have news for you. When you're no longer here, those companies will still be here, whether you own part of them or not.
That's right. That's pretty clear cut, family. I mean, if you guys ain't get that message, then I don't know. I don't know. Allah Bill, you got any final words for the family as they tune in today, tomorrow, next week, next month, years from now?
Well, yeah, I would definitely want to encourage everybody to be adamant about wanting to understand stocks. Because I found out when I started to look at them, I knew so little about them because I didn't have nobody in the family to go to find out, that when I started doing the research and I started learning and looking at it, it can become frustrating for someone that's never dealt with it before, never bought shares of stock before. But there's a lot of things in life that we can all think about, that we had to take time in order to really understand it. And only when we took that time to really understand it did it ever benefit us. So we have a lot of situations in our lives, in our growth and development, from childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. There's a lot of circumstances and situations that at first they seem difficult. Well, I don't know about stocks. I don't have a lot of money. Well, now you've been introduced that it doesn't take a lot of money to own parts of these companies. Now you know that putting your money in the bank, if it's not $20,000 or more, you're actually losing it. Now you know that you could buy a safe and keep your money in your house and don't pay any fee for the money that you would put in the bank. So you put money in the bank so that you could have a checking account to pay your rent, your mortgage, your bills, your car note. Those are the reasons that you could have a checking account, but you know how much money each month your bills are. Everyone has a budget. Everyone knows what that budget consists of. And as long as we live, we're going to have to maintain budgets. So when you have extra money, I would tell everybody out there, don't run to a bank. Buy stocks in a company that can bring profit to you and your family.
That's peace. That's peace right there. That's peace. One last thing before we close this segment out. Do you have any stories that you can share with the family? Because as I said in previous videos, our people tend to learn more when they hear stories and when there's a strong message and powerful moral behind that story. So, can you share a story in your investing career with the family?
Well, I have one that you're very familiar with because you and I were actually in the process some time back. We were very interested. I had did some research and found out about a new product that was coming out. It was being put out by a company called Beyond Meat. A lot of your viewers may have heard about Beyond Meats and Beyond Burger. It's in a lot of, right now it's in a lot of fast food restaurants are utilizing it. You're going to be seeing it in places like White Castle and other places. It's in your supermarket. In the section where you find hamburger meat or ground turkey or ground chicken, you'll find a vegetation product. It's all vegetarian. It's a plant-based product, and it's called Beyond Meats. Now, when I first saw this stock, I recall that the stock was $25 a share, and I had did some research on what they were going to do, what the company was planning to do. So all the things they're doing now, I had read about them, anticipating doing them, and I contacted you, in fact, and said to my nephew, I said, listen, we got to buy some of this Beyond Meat stock. And one of the lessons that I learned from that is that the process in which you purchase your stocks, whether you get them through Fidelity or Robinhood or Ally, whatever company or whatever broker you use to purchase and buy your stocks is also important to know, because that stock was $25 when I saw it and was talking to you, my nephew, about it. And in just 2 weeks' time, a short period of time, that stock rose to almost $200 a share. And I'm talking about in a matter of weeks, 2 weeks. That stock was so valuable that I was practically priced out of the area. I mean, who has $250 to pay for one share? So this is what I'm telling everybody that's listening. You have to keep your eyes and your ears open. You have to do your due diligence on when you see a stock you want. You got to be involved with a brokerage company. Listen to Supreme Loss Found Investors on what companies you can utilize, what companies are utilized by us. This is information that you're only going to get here. You're only going to find out about this here. And that's a story that I think everybody should be able to learn something from, because 1 week it was $25 a share. 2 weeks later, $180, $200 a share. So there's a lesson to be learned here. Haste makes waste.
Wow, that's peace. I mean, with all that, I'm gonna say peace. I'm gonna say peace. How about you, Allah Bill?
Well, I just want to say peace to all your listeners. Thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate having an opportunity to give my perspective on this very important investment project that's out here. And take care of yourself. Peace, God.
Peace. So peace, family. I hope y'all enjoyed that. If any of y'all want to have a one-on-one and make the show, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you. Hope y'all portfolios is on point. Haven't seen any comments. Haven't seen what you guys are picking. You know, how it's going. I'm still curious. I still want to see how you guys are doing, you know. So let me know. Drop a comment. Always always subscribe if you haven't yet. And share this thing, man. You know why? Because the more of our people tap into this and get rich, then the less violence, the less hate, the less envy, you know? Like one of my favorite movies, Paid in Full, when Ace says we all eat, we all eating. So let's get it. Peace, family, till next week.